Hey future leader, welcome to Cognitive Mind. If you're going for your next interview, then this video is for you. With my last 10 years of experience, I'm gonna share all the possible questions which has been commonly asked in an interview and the best possible answers which interviewer wants to hear from you. In my last 10 years, I have recruited to banks, BPO, international companies, multinational companies, also aviation and hospitality. Recruiting thousands of candidates, I have come across with most commonly asked questions and the answers which they have given in an interview which has led to the selection. So be with me till end of the video and we're gonna share tips and tricks and all possible question answers, and this video will make you 90% prepared for your next interview. Okay guys, so before you go for any interview, you have to be sure about three things. First, you need to know about the organization you're going for. It would be my deep suggestion that you should go on Google and read about the organization. Read about the roles and responsibility you are applying for. Read about the key pointers of the organization and their key achievements. So this will help you build confidence when you speak in an interview. Second, understand, do not overthink for an interview. There are cases wherein I have come across with people, those who are really excellent, but when the question has been asked in an interview, after knowing the answer, they are unable to speak because they get nervous. Third and most important point, you have to be sure that you only speak what interviewer wants to hear from you. There are cases when people talk about themselves a lot which may lead to rejection. तो आपको इंटरव्यू में कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा नहीं बोलना है, क्योंकि गाइज देखो इंटरव्यू साइकोलॉजी गेम है. मतलब यू हैव टू बी श्योर कि इंटरव्यू जो सुनना चाहता है आपको वही बोलना है. So without wasting time, let us begin with the question and answers. So the first very most question which has been asked in any interview would be, tell me something about yourself. Over here, the interview wants to know everything about you, and your introduction is very important because this gives clear explanation about you. I have seen people, they directly start introduction from the middle somewhere and they end up getting confused, which may lead to rejection. To avoid that, please go in a stepwise manner. Let us understand this with an example. Hi, my name is Jon Snow. My family comprises of 5 members including me. By profession, my father, he is a businessman. He is having a small business. My mother, she is a homemaker. Talking about my siblings, they are younger to me and I am the alpha male of the family. So after my father, all the family responsibility will be on my shoulder. Coming to my educational qualification, so I completed my schooling in the year 2018, followed by my higher school studies in the year 2020 during pandemic days. Talking about my graduation, I completed in the year 2023, and that is from a plain BCom. After completion of my graduation, I was working with ABC organization as customer service advisor, which I have joined in May 2024, soon after my results, and recently in July 2024, I left on good grounds. Coming to my hobbies, I love playing football as well as reading books. So there is a catch over here. When you talk about your hobby, I have seen people, they have mentioned reading books in their resume, and when interview cross question which book did you read, they are blank. This happens because you want to show off your hobby which is not there. So ensure आपको हॉबी वही मेंशन करना है जिस पे आप बात कर पाओ. So have a look twice on your resume what is been mentioned. अगर आप चैट जीपीटी या कहीं से भी resume बना रहे हो, so ensure आपको वही put करना है जिस पे आप बात कर पाओ, because there are very high chances interviewer would cross question you on your hobby. For example, if you mention watching movies, you have to get yourself prepared to speak on any movie for a minute. If you mention reading book, you should be certain to speak about any book for at least a minute. So that's how you end up with your introduction. This gives a clear explanation to an interviewer about you. Now, let us take with an example. So we will discuss about BPO interview today and we're going to put more light on BPO. So the next possible question in any BPO international interview or domestic, the interviewer can ask you, why would you like to join BPO industry? And you say, I would like to join BPO industry because BPO is a growing industry. This industry runs 24/7. Even in pandemic where other industry was struggling to survive, BPO has achieved a milestone in economic crisis. I went on the Google and I see that BPO is currently standing at $56 billion valuation into revenue. That is globally, and I'm surprised to know our India contributes more than $38 billion. That is an indication that we contribute more than 60%, and also I have read that it is expected to grow up to $110 billion by 2030. That would be 2x and 3x growth. So after reading this, I'm certain about my future, and over here my future would be in a stable hands, and that's the reason why eventually I would like to join BPO industry. So this would be a generic answer which you can give to why BPO. And in any domestic or international BPO, after this question, the most commonly asked question is, what do you understand by customer service? To speak about customer service, you won't read anything from Google. Google का रटा रटाया आंसर इंटरव्यूअर को पता होता है, and that might lead to rejection. तो अपने को practical explanation देना है so that you won't fall short of words. पहले से प्रिपेयर करके जाने का. For example, you can say, so according to me, customer service plays a very vital role in any organization or industry as a whole. It's my recent experience when I have ordered a product from Amazon that was a mobile phone for my mother on the occasion of her birthday, and I have got a damaged product. It was not functioning properly. I have instantly placed a replacement, and from Amazon I got a replacement within 24 hours. That was an express delivery, and I didn't expect that it would be so soon. I was having the old damaged phone with me, and without collecting that, they have delivered me a new phone. So that is an example of excellent customer service, and that is why today Amazon is a $1 trillion organization. So what I believe is that if you are giving good customer service to your end consumers, then that leads to the growth in the credibility of the organization in the market. So if any of the product has been launched by the organization, customer would be in a right situation to buy it. They will be in a positive mindset to buy it. So that's what I believe is that customer service is a backbone of any organization. And even if I join your organization, I will pay utmost attention on keeping your company's credibility high in the market. The next possible question which interview can ask you would be, how do you handle irate customer? This is a most common question which has been asked in any interview. Either you go for BPO, banks, or any industry, and you say, so sir, first and foremost, to understand the irate customer, what I would do, I would go ahead and deploy empathy. Firstly, I will listen to the customer. What I believe is that listening will solve 90% of the problem. I try to understand why the customer is irate. I know that there is something wrong. I'll try to understand where he is coming from. I'll deploy the empathy, and being in the limits of the organization, I'll try to give the first call resolution. If needed, I'll take the help from a supervisor in order to ensure that on that particular call, the customer is satisfied and the brand credibility remains intact. So that's how I will handle an irate customer, because I have a good listening skills and I have active listening. That would be an added advantage. And one more important question which has been commonly asked these days is, what do you understand by empathy and sympathy? Empathy is something wherein you place yourself into the customer's shoe and understand problem from their point of view. That is empathy. Sympathy is something wherein you cannot do anything but to give sympathy. That means feeling pity for something. There is a grave situation happen at customer's end, and you are giving condolences to feel compassionate about. That is sympathy. To give pity to someone. Okay, it's simple. Do not get confused. So we are done with customer service, irate customer, empathy, sympathy. Introduction is done. Why BPO is done. You can also, if you're going for a banking interview, you can read about the bank and you can use about the banking information which you have grasped from the Google. The next possible question which has been asked in any interview would be, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Over here, you have to talk positive about yourself. For example, you can say, I'm a hardworking person. Into my last academic, into my third year degree, I got a project from my college and that was supposed to be get completed in a month. I gave my day and night, and I have given my 100%. Even there was a shortfall of one candidate into our group, I took that responsibility to mitigate the risk. And then eventually I have completed the project within 20 days. After submission, we all were being appreciated. So that is a sign, wherein I have put my hard work, I have gone beyond the limitation. So that is my attitude. I always take my work very seriously. So that is my strength. And to talk about my weakness, so sir, it is very difficult for me to find the weakness, but still, to believe in people is very easy for me. I have lended money to many friends of mine and they never returned. So, I'm still working on it, and I believe that there is always an area of improvement. And there is one more most commonly asked question in an interview is, where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? Over here, I have seen people, they boost themselves saying, I want to become a team leader, I want to become a manager, assistant manager. So that would be a chorus answer. Do not give that. Simply what you can say to add positive value over here, you can say that, sir, I cannot be sure about my designation in future, but yes, I would like to lead with an example. I would like to serve as an example to my juniors, and also when the time comes for internal job posting or IJP, I'll apply for it. While working with the organization, I'll take more training and development courses which can add value at the same time. I'll take feedback from you and more seniors of mine who are in a right position to guide me, and I believe that you will certainly help me out to climb up the ladder. So that's how my goal is. My goal is to get selected in your organization now and work hard and add more value to the organization. Last but not the least, the interview can ask you, do you have any questions for me? To this question, please do not ask any question if you are not certain. Perhaps you can ask, sir, you can give me the feedback for an interview, or perhaps you can ask, can you tell me more about the roles and responsibility? Okay, do not ask any extra question which is out of the box, or perhaps from your end. आप क्या चाहते हो प्लीज़ वो मत पूछना, जो इंटरव्यूअर चाहता है वही पूछना है आपको. And there is one more tricky question over here. So the interviewer can ask you, what would you do if I reject you? And you say, sir, if you reject me, firstly, I'll take this rejection positively, because if you're rejecting me, then it is certain that there is something what I am lacking. So I'll take this feedback positively and work on my area of improvement, and I'll reapply for this interview because I have a learning attitude, so I won't take this negatively. So that's how you end up with your introduction, and if this will make you 90% prepare. 10% left is about the roles and responsibility. For example, if you're going for a relationship manager job, you're going for a sales oriented job, so read about the roles and responsibility a bit. Okay, so that's how we complete the video, and I suggest you this would be tips and trick for an interview. With my last 10 years of experience, I have understood that people, those who are still confident in an interview but still getting rejected because of the nervousness, to overcome the nervousness, what you can do simply, after watching this video, I request you to practice yourself. Speak in the front of camera, put your mobile camera on, record yourself, put a earphone on and record yourself, and listen to your introduction twice and thrice. Record yourself at least twice and thrice, so that the next day when you go for an interview, you are in 100% situation to clear the interview. That's how we end. Have a great day ahead, and I wish you luck for your next interview.